Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wheel
Wheel
of
of Freedom.
My name is Phil Marie. This is Wally Kopazinski, the 15th. And tonight, you see a lot of 50s around. Wally's birthday's today. He's, oh, wait a minute.
It's your birthday.
Who's got the hat on? I got the hat on. So, last week, we had, Wally was in late, and I went on a little bit of a rant, and I said I was going to do a rant.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What the hell? Who's this? Hey, buddy. What's, whoa, Wally. Who's this goon?
Guess what? Came here to sing you happy birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Whoa!
I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Oh, what a jerk, man.
Whoa.
Yo!
Jeez. Paper
You
towel.
rotten.
Who is that?
I don't know. What the heck is that all about?
Wow.
What the heck, Wally?
Wait a minute. Wait. You gotta keep everything together. We're
All right,
show.
all right.
I'll go get you some napkins.
No, just,
I'll get some paper towels. Go ahead.
oh, man. That is so bizarre.
That's crazy. You?
Wally, you're a jerk, man. Did you?
Huh?
Are you behind this?
I have nothing to. Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Would I do something like that?
Who else would? Unbelievable. Sorry, folks. Wow. So, happy birthday. Now I got this mess all over me. And so next week, oh man, it's pretty good actually. Next week we have Bill Binney. Oh my God, this stuff, Wally. Who was that? Reg! Oh, what the heck is this all about, man? Huh?
It's terrible.
Well, what's... It is a terrible thing to do. Why do I think you had something to do with this, Wally?
I don't know, Phil. You know me. I wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, this is like really foul as far as I'm concerned. And, wow, this is crazy, man. Sorry, folks, this is bizarre. I was going to talk about our video that we're showing tonight, and it's an old video of 60 Minutes. 2009, they were talking about mind reading and the technology, and I truly apologize about this. This is bizarre.
More paper towels?
No, Wally, why don't I just sit here and talk, because we are live on the air, so
Okay.
just relax. I don't know who did it, but I'll find out who did it. I know that much. So while we're come here, Wally. While we're having the, you can sing me happy birthday then. I'm gonna find out who that was, man. Wally, sit down for a minute.
Okay.
All right, sing me happy birthday without being cruel.
Happy birthday to you, Phil. Happy birthday to your 50th birthday.
Okay, 50 years old and I get treated like
A kid.
wow, that's bizarre.
Oh my goodness.
Huh? So, anyways, we have a great 13-minute video, and we're gonna show that probably sooner than I wanted to. Keep wearing it?
It looks good.
So, yeah, I'm gonna have to show that, I think, sooner than I wanted to, but we also want to talk about Frontier, and I'm tired of this harassment that I'm going through, and so the second half of the show we're going to talk about Frontier and my internet. And then the phone, now Wally's having a huge problem, and he can't, believe it or not, he can't call me. And he's got Frontier. So they're obviously playing this harassment game. And that's all right. Let me put this mic back on. But we are live, and I think I think we're gonna have to run to this video soon and clean up the mess. So 60 minutes mind reading. It's okay, Wally. What the heck? That's crazy, Wally. So I gotta almost laugh because I can't blow a cork here and live. So, but pay attention at the very end of this video. At the very end of it, Leslie Stalls asked these guys about. They asked these guys how long will it take? Be careful, Wally. Yeah. How long will it take before they can have the technology that'll point just a light beam at your head and be able to read your thoughts? And so it's stuff that we got to pay attention in the future. And I've been talking about this stuff, and there's just a whole lot more. But I think we need to run this video, Reg. I need to see if I get another shirt or something. I don't think I do, but it's a 13-minute video. Don't go anywhere.
How often have you wondered what your spouse is really thinking, or your boss, or the guy sitting across from you on the bus? We all take as a given that we'll never really know for sure. The content of our thoughts is our own, private, secret, unknowable by anyone else, until now, that is. Neuroscience research into how we think and what we're thinking is advancing at a stunning rate, making it possible for the first time in human history to peer directly into the brain to read out the physical makeup of our thoughts. Some would say to read our minds. This is the technology that is transforming what once was science fiction into just plain science. It's a specialized use of MRI scanning called functional MRI, fMRI for short, that makes it possible to see what's going on inside the brain while people are
I walk into that scanner room and I see the person's brain appear on the screen. When I see those patterns, it is just incredible, unthinkable.
mind reading. What do you call it?
Thought identification.
Whatever you want to call it, what neuroscientist Marcel Just and his colleague Tom Mitchell at Carnegie Mellon University have done is combine fMRI's ability to look at the brain in action with computer science's new power to sort through massive amounts of data. The goal? To see if they could identify exactly what happens in the brain when people think specific thoughts.
Okay, are you ready to get started?
They did an experiment where they asked subjects to think about 10 objects, 5 of them tools like screwdriver and hammer, and 5 of them dwellings like igloo and castle, then recorded and analyzed the activity in their brains for each. You had them think about a screwdriver, and the computer found the place in the brain where that person was thinking screwdriver?
The screwdriver isn't one place in the brain, it's many places in the brain. When you think of a screwdriver, you think about how you hold it, how you twist it, what it looks like, what you use it for.
And each of those functions are in different places?
Correct.
Just as when we think screwdriver or igloo, for example, neurons start firing at varying levels of intensity in different areas throughout the brain.
And we found that we could identify which object they were thinking about from their brain activation patterns.
You're reading their mind.
We're identifying the thought that's occurring. It's
Whoa.
incredible, just incredible.
Are you saying that if you think of a hammer, that your brain is identical to my brain when I think of a hammer?
Not identical. We have idiosyncrasies. Maybe I've had a bad experience with a hammer and you haven't, but it's close enough to identify each other's thoughts. So, that was never known before.
We asked if his team was up for a challenge. Would they take our associate producer, Megan Frank, whose brain had never been scanned before, and see if the computer could identify her thoughts? Justin Mitchell agreed to give it a try and see if they could do it in almost real time. So you've never done an instant analysis, as we might say on television?
Nobody's done this, ever.
That's actually her brain?
That's her brain.
Inside the scanner, Megan was shown a series of 10 items and asked to think for a few seconds about each one. If it all comes out right, when she's thinking hammer, the computer will know she's thinking hammer.
Right.
Okay, we're all done.
So Megan,
Yes.
how was it?
It wasn't bad.
Good. Within minutes, the computer, unaware of what pictures Megan had been shown, and working only from her brain activity patterns as read out by the scanner, was ready to tell us, in its own voice, what it believed was the first object Megan had been thinking about.
I think the word is knife.
All right, one.
Right.
Bingo. All right. Then the second.
I think the word is hammer.
All right.
I think the word is window.
It's perfect, right?
So far.
And it continued to be, word after word.
Apartment.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Well done, well done.
Good thinking.
And of course, this is just the beginning.
Exactly.
Who knows what you're going to be able to read?
That's
a little
right.
scary, actually.
Well, that's our research program for the next 5 years.
What?
To see how, we're not satisfied with hammer.
And neither are neuroscientists 4,000 miles away in Berlin at the Bernstein Center. John Dylan Haynes is hard at work here, using the scanner not just to identify objects people are thinking about, but to read their intentions.
So we're going to start now with the actual experiment.
Subjects were asked to make a simple decision, whether to add or subtract two numbers they would be shown later on. Haynes found he could read directly from the activity in this small part of the brain that controls intentions what they had decided to do.
This is a kind of blown up version of the brain activity happening here. And you can see that if a person is planning to add or to subtract, the pattern of brain activity is different in these two cases.
I always tell my students that there is no science fiction anymore. All the science fiction I read in high school, we're doing.
To Paul Root-Wolpe, director of the Center for Ethics at Emory University in Atlanta, the ability to read our thoughts and intentions this way is revolutionary.
Throughout history, we could never actually coerce someone to reveal information. Torture doesn't work that well. Persuasion doesn't work that well. The right to keep one's thoughts locked up in their brain is amongst the most fundamental rights of being human.
You're saying that if someone can read my intentions, we have to talk about who might in the future be able to do that.
Absolutely. Whether we're going to let the state do it or whether we're going to let me do it. I have two teenage daughters. I come home one day and my car is dented, and both of them say they didn't do it. Am I going to be allowed to drag them off to the local brain imaging lie detection company and get them put in a scanner? We don't know.
But before we've even started the debate, there are two companies already offering lie detection services using brain scans. One with the catchy name No Lie MRI. But our experts caution that the technique is still unproven. In the meantime, Haynes is working on something he thinks may be even more effective, reading out from your brain exactly where you've been. Haynes showed me an experiment he created out of a video game.
And you can actually navigate around if you want.
He had me navigate through a series of rooms in different virtual reality houses.
Now I would put you in a scanner and I would show you some of these scenes that you've seen and some scenes that you haven't seen.
Well, haven't seen anything yet. Oh, okay.
And,
okay, now I'm getting into
do you recognize something?
Yeah, I recognize the bar.
And right at this moment, we would be able to tell from your brain activity that you've already seen this environment before.
And so this is a potential tool for
it's a
police.
Potential tool, absolutely.
In the case of break-ins.
You might be able to tell if someone's been in an Al-Qaeda training camp before.
Have any national security agencies been in touch with you?
Not in the U.S.
Anywhere in the world?
Yes, in Germany, but...
So there are people who are considering these kinds of possibilities. And using them. In India last summer, a woman was convicted of murder after an EEG of her brain allegedly revealed that she was familiar with the circumstances surrounding the poisoning of her ex-fiancé. Can you, through our legal system, be forced to take one of these tests?
It's a great question, and the legal system hasn't decided on this yet.
But we do have a Fifth Amendment. We don't have to incriminate ourselves.
Well, here's where it gets very interesting, because the Fifth Amendment only prevents the courts from forcing us to testify against ourselves. But you can force me to give DNA or a hair sample or blood, even if that would incriminate me. So here's the million-dollar question. If you can brain image me and get information directly from my brain, is that testimony, or is that like DNA, blood, semen, and other things that you could take from me?
Court case, inevitable.
There will be a Supreme Court case about this.
There you go.
For now, it's impossible to force someone to have his or her brain scanned because the subject has to lie still and cooperate. But that could change.
There are some other technologies that are being developed that may be able to be used covertly and even remotely. So, for example, they're trying to develop now a beam of light that would be projected onto your forehead. It would go a couple of millimeters into your frontal cortex, and then receptors would get the reflection of that light. And there's some studies that suggest that we could use that as a lie detection device.
And we wouldn't know we've got a red dot in our forehead?
No, you wouldn't. If you were
know?
sitting there in the airport and being questioned,
Yeah.
they could beam that on your forehead without your knowledge. We can't do that yet, but they're working on it.
Scary as that is, imagine a world where companies could read our minds too. Light beams may be a bit far off, but fMRI scanning is already being used to try to figure out what we want to buy and how to sell it to us. It's a new field called neuromarketing. One of its pioneers is neuroscientist Gemma Calvert, co-founder of a London company called Neuroscience. Do you have a lot of clients?
Yes, such as Unilever, Intel, McDonald's, Procter & Gamble, MTV or Viacom.
And she says it's a growing field.
What we've seen is a sort of snowballing effect over the last few years. I think there are about 92 neuromarketing agencies worldwide.
But some experts question whether it's ethical to scan the brain for commercial purposes and say neuromarketers may be promising more than they can really deliver.
If you image my brain and you say, aha, Paul craves chocolate chip cookies, and I say, no, I don't. Now, are you going to believe the brain over me? You can only do that if you have proven that that part of the brain lighting up means in all cases that that person desires chocolate chip cookies. And what a lot of people are doing is they're just imaging the brain, then they're declaring what that means, and they're never proving that it actually translates into behavior.
You know, it's very interesting. When you show someone a brain scan, people just believe it. It just reeks of credibility.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you telling me that's the area where people add and subtract, I thought, well, of course, he knows.
But I could have told you anything.
I know. So as brain imaging continues to advance and find its way into the courts, the market, and who knows what other aspects of our lives, one message is, be cautious. Another is, get ready. Back at Carnegie Mellon, Just and Mitchell have already uncovered the signatures in our brains for kindness, hypocrisy, and love. It's breathtaking.
Yes.
And kind of eerie.
Well, you know, I think the reason people have that reaction is it because it reveals the essence of what it means to be a person. All of those kinds of things that define us as human beings are brain patterns.
We don't want to know that. Well, that it all boils down to, I don't know, molecules and things like that.
But we are, you know, we are biological creatures. You know, our limbs we accept are, you know, muscles and bone. And our brain is a biological thinking machine.
Do you think one day, who knows how far into the future, there'll be a machine that'll be able to read very complex thought, like, I hate so-and-so, or, you know, I love the ballet because.
Definitely, definitely. And not in 20 years, I think in 3-5 years. Ample
In
does.
3 years.
Well, 5.
All right, we're back. I first want to talk about the video, Wally, because I'm actually very disturbed here. But at the end of the video, that just bothers me. That's one group of scientists, Wally, at the Carnegie, whatever the heck they were called. I'm so flustered that I can't even think now. But they're working on all this technology, and I said it a couple years ago that I think in Israel that they're already using these machines at point at people's brains and they just read your mind and they know what you're thinking. And so this all goes to this targeting stuff, and this is why we brought the wheel tonight, the tire, the wheel of freedom, the mind tracker, and there's stuff in the way, but anyways, it says mind tracker. But now, I have to really say that I truly believed Wally was involved with this, and he's actually thought it was. What was your comment? It was.
I thought that was somebody coming to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah,
and they had dessert. I thought it was a dessert plate.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was something to smash in your face.
So, and Reggie certainly had nothing in the back, right?
Not that I know. No.
Yeah. Well, I probably if it wasn't live TV, I don't think this thing would have taken place the way it did. That guy, he was a pretty big guy too.
Yeah.
He seemed quite large, but I think he would have been laying down on his back very, very quick. I thought it was someone you put up to, or Reggie, so that's why I couldn't react. But yeah, I'm all sticky. Luckily, I found this old sweatshirt, ripped pockets, and found that out in my work truck. But nonetheless, it's my birthday. We're celebrating it no matter what. So a little pie in the face, little egg in the face, little dog poop in the face. So be it. Whatever.
And days will be better.
Yeah,
things are better.
That's not going to bother me. I know I want to talk about Frontier tonight, and you know, I don't see a link there, but next week we have NSA whistleblowers Kirk Wiebe and Bill Binney calling in again because September they start that movie tour, A Good American. So that's going to be a good show next week, and hopefully I probably shouldn't jump the gun with this, but I'm hoping that on 94.9 with Lee Elsey that these guys will be on there also.
Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully Lee does a good job with that and everything. So
I'm sure he will.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So next week we have Bill Binney, Kirk Wiebe, and somewhere in the next two weeks or so, or whatever, then I believe they're going to be on the air with Lee Elsey also. So
I think that's good for the area.
The
whole area to hear it.
94.9, sure. Yeah. I mean, you know, I talk about the media companies, this and that, and Frontier is a true example. Frontier took over AT&T, all right? They took over the AT&T UVerse part. But AT&T was the original spying telecom with all this stuff. It was a known fact. Go ahead.
Excuse me. UVerse is still in business, but they're not in this area anymore. They sold this area.
Yes.
But they got their UVerse going in other areas.
Yes, AT&T UVerse is still going on in other areas. Frontier bought this market.
And it's AT&T Direct Television. They own Direct Television.
Oh, AT&T bought Direct?
Right.
Satellite.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's all in, and as a matter of fact, soon I think we're getting a name change here too. So.
Well, you know, I worked with Kraft Foods.
Yeah.
And Kraft Foods got bought out, one of the largest companies in the country.
Yeah.
They got bought off by Heinz. Now, what's happening is, to make up for all the money they put out to buy Kraft, they have to lay off all kind of Kraft people. So all their management is in charge of all Kraft businesses, and hundreds and maybe thousands of Kraft people will be retiring, and they'll be losing their retirement pays and everything else. They'll give them a lump sum distribution of $100,000. I know when I worked for Kraft, I was going to get approximately $24,000 a year. Now, I've been retired for 20 years. So how much money would that have been? You know what I mean? In 20 years. So these young people, they're out of luck. They're out of, and big. This is where big business shows their evil ways.
Yeah.
The people that served them and took care of their business, who got promoted with them, now they're on the outs because I heard Buffett had a lot to do with this promotion.
I actually
Buffett.
heard that same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And it's just not fair to the working people. Now,
who built the company, Kraft
that's
Foods,
right.
and then they get bought out. But usually when these telecoms do such a thing, they keep all the existing employees. Now, when I had the internet problem, in January, I think, February, remember, It was a whole month. I couldn't do any show prep, and they lied. They said I only called for 3 days. I was bothering them for a whole month. They were having me test this, unplug this, do this, do this. Finally, after like 2.5, 3 weeks, they send out a tech guy. He shows up when I'm not there. I have a folder right here. Let me tell you something. It says Frontier on it, right here, this folder, and it's stacked full of all the paperwork and all the times, all the calls I made. And my internet has been getting slower and slower. They're doing it so that I can't upload anything. I want to upload the show from 2 weeks ago, the 50s show, Wally.
Yep.
And you keep asking me about that. And but they're slowing my speed down to a snail's pace. And now I've been told from other people that they've been trying to call my number, phone number, house number, and now guess what? What happened today, Wally? You're an eyewitness.
well,
now.
I called you
How many times?
about 7 times.
All right, what did it say each time?
When I called you, I dialed 860.
You don't need to tell my number.
No, I'm just going dial 860 and the rest of your telephone number.
Okay.
And you're a local number.
Yeah.
So that's the way I've always done it.
Okay.
The 860 plus the rest of your telephone number.
All right,
and
Waterford
it would ring.
call in Niantic.
Yeah,
Local
because you're
call.
local. You're local.
Yeah.
And the television, when the phone rang, it says you have to use a 1 when you're making a long distance call. I said, wait a minute, that's not a long distance call. So I did that like 7 times, and then I called you.
On my cell phone.
Yeah, right. I figured, well, you picked that
I
up.
just happened to have it on, as weird as that is,
Yeah.
and it rang, and I was like, why are you calling this?
Well, because I couldn't get through you on the other one, and I thought you wanted to talk to me.
And you did it with a 1, without a 1.
Right.
You kept doing it, and they still wouldn't let you call my house. So the question of Frontier is, why can't a paying customer of Frontier call another paying customer of Frontier? Bottom line, Frontier.
Don't make sense.
Frontier. Why can't a paying customer of the internet, Frontier, why can't he have his internet working normal?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times they've been out at your house, out at the pole, and this and that, and screwing around
I've had
with
somebody
stuff.
out in the house twice,
Yep.
and I've called the office 5 times,
Okay.
and my computer still
It's all
slow.
screwed up.
It's slow,
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah. It acts normal when
And
the
I
guy
paid
comes.
about $49 for that.
Yeah, when the guy comes out, though, and fiddles, then all of a sudden it works.
He said there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly. And then when he leaves, it goes back to what it was doing. Now, when I had the tech guys come out who were AT&T workers, most of them had seniority, almost 30 years, all right? Great guys. They had to replace my modem. They turned it on in the office at Frontier, turned it back off. And the tech guys were getting mad. They would not get mad. They were getting pissed. And they said, screw them. We're going to bypass the main office of Frontier. And they went online. They created a hotspot with their cell phone. And then they had their laptop. And they programmed my modem to come on. And I usually unplug it when I turn it off when I'm not using it.
Yep.
I haven't done it yet because I know Frontier will screw me again on that. So, again, I have a whole file here of all the stuff documented, all the people I talked to, their names, the times, everything. I'm going to file a complaint with the Attorney General's office about Frontier with their bullying tactics or their targeting tactics. This is part of targeting, Wally. I'm not telling you guys a story of something new. You go online, you listen to a lot of people that have been in this targeted program. all this stuff happens. They cut off the electricity without telling you this, that. They screw with you. They did the jerks next door did it to me. And then they went out to the box and turned it off so that I thought I still had no power for another day when I already had power. Screw you, Frontier, and all your evil people in the front office, AT&T, you bunch of surveillance hogs, is what it is. And they tap phones. They've been doing it forever, Wally. They still have, trust me. Those AT&T buildings, even there's one in Niantic, a big old AT. What do you think that building's doing? It's probably collecting data. Of course it is.
There's nobody there.
No, it's just a huge building that has all this. There's not garages, so they're not parking in there either. There's probably huge computers, and they're collecting data, and they're working with the government. So there's no denying it, because AT&T has already been caught doing that and had to admit all that. It's a known fact. And I just heard on CBS News on 94.9, I just heard it the other morning, how AT&T again, and I looked for it, and Google was blocking me. Google's another one that is in with the government that will alter your searches. It'll slow you down. Go ahead, Wally. I need to relax here. I'll throw cake at somebody.
I'm going to ask you a question, and maybe you could answer it any way you want to. But is this government, or is it the government that was there before? Is it both of them? All the government? You know, all these different parties. There's different parties that control this country 8 years ago.
We have one government, one party. That's probably the best answer, Wally.
Yeah, okay, that's the point I'm trying to get across. Which tells me both parties are working together.
Absolutely.
And to try to make money for themselves.
Absolutely.
You look at what Hillary Clinton is doing out there.
Sure.
Her and her husband have made $2.5 billion in donations.
And Trump's right up their ass, too.
And well, he says it himself. I've given these people money my whole life, and they do what I tell them to do.
Yeah, the wealthy up here don't care about the working class down here. I don't care what party it is. I don't care who it is.
It's both parties.
Exactly.
And this is where the misconception is. Only the Republicans are for the rich. That's wrong.
Well, I hate to say this.
Look what's happened to this economy and what Obama has done. I have to live on the interest I get in the bank. You know how much I'm getting? Less than 1/10 of 1% interest on my money. The banks are using my money at no cost at all. At no cost. The businesses are borrowing money from the bank, and it's very, very minimal what they're paying. So who are they helping? We have to wake up in America.
Yeah, wake up.
Like you always said.
Wake up. When does this stuff end? Or does it? I don't think it ever ends.
No.
You know, but
there are some bad people in this country, in this world, you know, and that's what's sad.
You know what? Yeah. I think, hey, Reg, do we still got that other video of Obama being questioned? Yep. I think we ought to run that again. That was interesting. Reg, can we run that, please?
If we don't pass it, here's the guarantee that the people who are watching tonight, your premiums will go up. Your employers are going to load up more costs on you. Potentially, they're going to drop your coverage because they just can't afford an increase of 25, 30% in terms of the cost of providing health care to employees each and every year. And the federal government will go bankrupt.
You really believe that, don't you? You know, you're really an enigma to me. You appear to be a moderately well-educated man. You use that highly trained intellect, not the way those who taught you intended that you should, but you utilize it much the same as a highly sophisticated weapon, don't you? You've had the finest university teachings in the world, and having once been gifted with all that, how do you put it to use? For the common detriment of man, for the ultimate and positive disintegration of the society that made that learning possible for you. And the pity of it is you're believed in, particularly by the young. With the power of that highly refined intelligence, you can move mountains.
What about my freedoms, my rights, my family's way of living? You don't concern yourselves with that, do you? People don't want your warped and distorted sensibilities to interfere with their way of life.
You're full of enthusiasm, ideas, and you're boiling over with energy. You want to change things. So you look around, you see a lot of things that need changing. People kill each other, and they shouldn't. People are hungry, and they shouldn't be. People are cold, and they're illiterate. They need shelter, they need books. The world needs changing. Well, it does need changing, but if you're going to live with the rest of us, then you'll have to learn to play the game by the rules. In case you've forgotten the name of the game, we call it democracy.
The federal government will go bankrupt.
What about my freedoms, my rights, my family's way of living? You don't concern yourselves with that, do you? People don't want your warped and distorted sensibilities to interfere with their way of life.
What were you saying now?
I said that was a good program. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, Obama time travel.
But you know what? You've had a rough day today, and I bought a lottery ticket for myself.
Really?
But I'm going to give it to you because it's your birthday. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, you know.
I don't gamble, Wally.
Well, you don't have to gamble. All you have to do is scratch it and see if this is worth anything. I'm giving it to you.
Oh, here we go.
Here, this is for you. That's a lottery ticket. And why don't you, here, you could scratch it off, and whatever it is, you could keep. I don't care. I just want to say happy birthday to you.
Oh, really? What's this all about? Match 3 alike amounts and win that amount?
Yep. Show them the ticket.
What is this thing? High dollar or something?
I don't know what it's worth. Yeah, you know. I have no idea what you're going to win. But it's, you know, it's your birthday, and let's hope you got good luck because you've had a bad day so far. What do you got so far? I can't tell.
10,000.
10,000 what?
10,000.
Dollars?
What is this? Dineros?
I don't know what it is.
25. Oh, yeah, here we go. All downhill. 10,000, 10,000, 25. Come on, 25 works for me.
$25?
Yeah. 50. I got this crap in my eyes still. 50.
Well, I was hoping you could
Yeah,
win
Wally.
something, but it don't look too good.
100. It ain't looking good at all, man. So this is it. What? So I can win 10,000, right? Yeah.
Are you serious?
Wow. I got one more left. You really think I'm going to win that? Holy crap, Wally.
What?
Look at this. What's that say?
I want $10,000. That's what it says. That's me, not yours. I just let you do it so you can scratch it.
No, but is it?
That's $10,000.
Let me see this.
No, this is my ticket. I'm not giving it back.
Wally, you just gave it to me, and we'll split it, but let me see this.
To be a good Christian.
Did it win?
Yeah, you won $10,000.
Scratch off, match 3 like amounts, win that amount. So we got 1, 2, 3.
Split it with Reggie.
Reg. Absolutely. Look at that. If that's right.
That says, I can't believe that.
Well,
I only paid $1 for that ticket.
Yeah, but now you got to claim it. You got to go through the.
I can't afford to take that money because it would bring my taxes up too high. Yeah.
And then I'll get thrown off food stamps. No, I won't. I work hard for a living. This is bizarre, Wally. Can it be?
I never saw those tickets. I picked that up.
I don't either. Yeah, it's like over. Oh, you got to go to lottery headquarters, I think, with this.
Well, they won't pay at the store level, not that kind of money.
Well, I shouldn't say that crap, but that's crazy. Wow, you kind of stopped me in my tracks here, Wally.
Well, it's early.
Where did you get this? Just at the...
Henny Pennies.
Holy cow, man. And you know what? I'm still a believer that I don't believe it until I see it or something, so...
All I could say is take it there and they'll confirm whether it's...
I will. Well, they got the barcode thing on the back. I can scan that thing, right? That's...
So it's turned out to be a good day. It's your birthday.
Yeah. Reg, I'll give you a cut. Wally's the one that broke this thing out. I scratched it, and we'll give Reg a grand.
Sure. He could always use a couple dollars.
And then what I'll do, time out. I'll take $3,000 and put a reward for the jackass that came in here, unbeknownst any of us, with that pie.
Well, like you said, it's a good thing you had those glasses on because you would have had that stuff in your eye.
I wanted to wear these during the show because they look good with the hat, and I just thought, and they're all sticky still, but they saved me big time. No, they really did.
Yep,
I would have been, I probably would have said a few words I shouldn't have said, but
I just thought there was dessert somebody brought, and to wish you a happy birthday.
I thought you were involved, or Reggie was involved, but I could tell by your face afterwards, you said that was very cruel. And I knew at that point that, well, hopefully I knew that you weren't behind that. But so, nonetheless, strange stuff happens, and the show is moving along. 7:47, Wally.
Yep.
And we did have a couple stories I wanted to follow up on. Reg, camera 1, right here. Why do you need to cover your webcam right now? This is another story in this woman. What happened was her and her boyfriend were watching Netflix, all right? And somebody hacked in to their laptop, took a picture of them, took a picture of a husband and wife in bed, and sent it to their Facebook account.
Wow.
Thanks, Reg.
I didn't know that could happen.
It happened.
How are they taking the camera? I mean, where's the camera that they're taking pictures of?
Right here, the camera. I have a piece of tape over mine at all times.
See, I don't have a computer like that.
Smartphones. I've been telling people this. They don't think in their bedrooms that they're being watched. They're out of their minds, people. And
yeah, but they can watch my bedroom and they won't see anything.
It's not. Oh, Toronto. So this happened in Canada. Toronto police are investigating Clark's case. An easy safeguard for everyone can use it to prevent their candid moments from being seen by prying eyes is to attach a small piece of any tape, Band-Aid, or other material over the webcam. In fact, if you haven't yet, maybe you should. That should be the next thing that you do. I've been trying to warn people that, and it's truly happening, big time. This is another thing. Reg, camera 1. Here's another story. This is an interesting article. I won't get into it too much, but the laser revolution. They are advances so much with the lasers, and this ties in. Thanks, Reg. This ties in with the video we saw earlier, with that 2009 video that they said they could point a beam at you in a light beam or laser.
Well, China has already shot down one of their own satellites by using lasers, a laser.
Yeah, well.
And it destroyed, it blew it completely apart, and it's still floating around there in the atmosphere. Well, and it's put a danger to other satellites and everything else.
5 minutes. This article starts out, new laser technology looks promising as a way to shoot down Chinese-style massed missiles. So
China's already doing it.
Yeah, well, when you see these articles and they say it's coming out or it's already out and been used.
Yeah, you're right.
They will never show you anything other than that. And same with the technology. And it's just crazy. And then you got this use of media controlling the masses. Right here, Reg. Camera 1. Use of media controlling the masses. And this is what I was talking about also with this crazy stuff. Look, they're telling everyone to obey. But this is what's coming down the road with all this crazy mind control, reading minds, stalking, everything. All this crazy stuff. I mean, it's It's here, and I know it doesn't affect a lot of the viewers, but that's not, my concern is someday it will, and I want all the viewers to be as educated as possible to recognize this stuff. When something weird's going on, you say, holy crap, I think it's this, this, or this.
Yep.
And you're at least aware of it. That's half the battle. There's a lot of people that aren't aware of it, and they're putting on a free peep show for whoever, the NSA, the FBI, maybe even local authorities. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it needs to stop. We got 2 minutes left. I want to remind you guys again, next week, great show, Bill, Binney, Kirk Wiebe. I'm going to ask them several things in regards to even like ATT Frontier, but we're going to talk about his upcoming movie. I want everyone to go see that. I want to go see it. Wally will see it. And I never talked about this subject of chemtrails. A lot of the viewers may know with the jet trails. Courtney, when I first came down, and I have a smoking gun video that, not next week with Binney, the following week, I think I'm finally going to do a whole show on chemtrails. I know more than you guys could ever imagine, back in 1999. And that could have a lot to do why I'm targeted also. I have a smoking gun evidence of video, a United Nations video when they're all gathered at the United Nations talking about chemtrails, geoengineering, weather modification, the aluminum's getting in the ground, getting in the tree roots from all the aluminum they're spraying. Not only is it giving us all Alzheimer's, screwing up our minds, it's getting in the roots of the trees. Getting in the roots of the trees so the trees can absorb water, and the trees are dying. Therefore, out west, this is a California lady. So anyways, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to mark it on your calendar also. I'm going to do the whole show. We're going to talk about chemtrails, a one-shot deal, in and out, because I refuse to talk about it. That's how people like to take your credibility away from you. And I will shut up any of them that want to mock me, including Joe Courtney. And I'm going to send our show to Joe Courtney and say, now, send me an email back, Mr. Courtney, that it's just steam, and tell me to put on a foil tin hat. The jerk.